one thing that was different in PMJ vis-a-vis what was happening in the country for the first 70 years was it focused a lot on the demand side. Instead of saying, let's build hospitals and let's build facilities and somehow it'll reach to the poor, it said, okay, let us give the focus on the poor, get them to kind of demand it, and that's how we'll kind of, that is a fundamental shift. And you talked about the communications team. One of the very unique things that happened at the time, I remember, is the Prime Minister actually writing to all the 10 crore beneficiaries of the scheme, right? So I don't know where you got the data from, but actually letters went to each of the 10 crore families. So tell me a little bit about the communication side of things.
So, see, like I was saying, communication was focused on many target groups, but main one were the beneficiaries, and we were following a multi-pronged strategy. And one of the key one was that Prime Minister himself was very keen that he would write a letter to each family telling them that congratulations, you're part of this scheme, and if you're sick, you can follow this process and go to this place. This is a number you can call with a not only telling them that they're eligible, but also how to use the services. Drafting the letter was easy. Challenge was that he wanted to send those letters in different languages, not Hindi or English, but language of that state. So, for example, West Bengal, he sent it in Bangla. In Orissa, he just sent it in Oriya, although they were not implementing it. So, the letters went in the local language. So, translating that letter into those local languages and ensuring that the translation is real. Bhavarth hai, wo shabdarth nahi hai. So, we can actually translate word by word, but maybe the meaning gets changed. So, we have to confirm from different languages that it conveys the same feelings, same emotions, same message that he wanted to convey. Then imagine printing those letters and putting the address. An address came from the census surveys, and we, for many of them, we had to do cleaning up, and then mailing them and monitoring them that letters have been received in those places. So all that, we had a separate cell working on that, and so that itself was a very extremely complex undertaking.
Another thing that you did which actually worked very well was the call center. So somewhere where anyone could call and get the information about hospitals, where do they do it, and that was also a multilingual call center. Yeah. I know it was used later extensively during COVID also, but you set it up under PMJ. So thoda, if you can share about that.
So Gaurav, that's something I should share, that you don't get everything right in the first place, first time. So when PM was launching this scheme, first he launched on 15th August from the Red Fort, and then that was a pilot, and 1 month later on 23rd of September, he launched it nationwide from Ranchi. So, of course, his office had asked us to prepare his speech, but he has his own speech. We give you inputs, but he will speak on his own. He refers to it, and then he was going there. He said, "Indu ji, आपने देख लिया क्या कोई ऐसा मैसेज है देना?" हमने कहा कि सर आप ऐसा करिएगा कि हमारा कॉल सेंटर नंबर है 50433, उसको जरा आप बोल दीजिएगा जिससे कि लोगों को पता रहे कि यहाँ पे कॉल करना है. So like in one style, he said it 3 times in 3 different places कि अगर कोई आपको 50433, and on that day we got about 26 lakh calls on that number, and our call center got jammed because we didn't have that capacity. And so we learned that there has to be queuing system, there has to be capacity, there has to be overflow there. So all that we learned, and of course for 3 days we didn't sleep because we had to fix it, because we didn't want a complaint to go back to him that you gave us a number but this number is not working. But now this became so robust that it could handle that kind of load. And when COVID came, and in COVID we realized that they gave the number and the same thing was happening. They were even worse. They had given 2 landlines, and of course through landlines. Even for Delhi, it was not very effective. So we offered that, we can easily expand our call center to cover COVID, and it's a multilingual. It is has a capacity to put people on wait and tell them how long it will take for them to be serviced. And so we did that. We expanded that, and the call center actually was useful not only for seeking information about PMJ, but also for sharing any grievances, telling them any feedback about what is happening. If there's a fraud happening, you can call them. But also, we had used those call centers to call the beneficiaries proactively twice. Once after they were discharged, to understand what kind of services were provided, whether they're happy with the service, and then 15 days later about the health outcome. Because when you are discharged, you don't know how you're feeling. Things become more clear after 15 days, and then after
Not just input, but also feedback.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
feedback.